Well, the news cycle really heating up. I'm blaming it on climate change. You know, do you ever notice now whenever there's a storm or a fire or anything, the AP, the Associated Press, which usually reports on these things, it's always global warming, always, no matter what it is. Could be an avalanche of snow. It could be anything. And I don't want to be cynical. I do believe that, you know, the planet is changing. I think that that's happening. We just don't know exactly why, although I want a much cleaner situation, as I'm sure you do as well. But everybody's overheated, and that is extending into the news cycle. Today, the Talking Points memo is about the CNN debate upcoming on Thursday, June 27th. You know all about it, I'm sure. Okay, so you got Trump and Biden. They're going to be on the stage. It's going to be in Atlanta. You got to have Dana Bash and Jake Tapper, two CNN people, moderating it. Here are the rules just announced, and both Trump and Biden agreed to these rules. 90-minute debate, 2 commercial breaks. Candidates will appear at their respective podiums. Okay, I would assume that. And the campaign staff will not be allowed to interact with the candidates. All right? So then the microphones will be muted until the candidate is designated to speak. So therefore, no one can interrupt, which is not really a great thing, but, you know, I think it'll help Trump because Trump has a tendency to interrupt every second. All right? The candidates will not be permitted to have pre-written notes or props. They can't have a pen and pad of paper and some water. Well, that's nice. No live audience. Now, I wrote a column yesterday called It's Debatable, predicting exactly what's going to happen in this debate. So I want you to read the column or, you know, download it. And then when the debate happens and I'm 100% correct, you can send me a nice email saying, hey, Bill, how'd you do it? But here's the situation. Okay, so I'm getting all kinds of mail that Biden's going to have an earpiece. I have an earpiece right now, okay? He's not going to have an earpiece. Then I'm getting that he's going to know the questions ahead of time. He's not going to know the questions ahead of time. Because if CNN does anything, all right, it's through. Remember, CNN has the lowest ratings in history now. They're right on the cliff. They have to play it straight. Now, play it straight. They got 2 moderators who hate Trump. They hate her. And all you have to do is research Tapper and Bash, and you'll see it. There's no doubt about it. So I have a suggestion for Donald Trump. Now, to be fair, I should have a suggestion for Joe Biden, but I don't, because all he's going to do is memorize stuff and spit the memorization back if he can. The drama is, will Joe remember what he's memorized? Okay. So, but Trump has an opportunity that he doesn't even know about. But I want to tell you, because I'm not in a business to be helping political candidates. So if I'm Trump on the stage and the thing evolves the way I believe it will, with Bash and Tapper basically me asking questions about 9/11, about January 6th, about the election fraud, this is where they're going to go. They're going to try to embarrass Trump, gotcha Trump. Going to go, oh, you said this, you said that, you said this, you're going to kill people, blah, 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 blah. If I'm Trump, all I say is, look, I'm not even going to bother with that tonight. I want to give you my vision for the future and then give the vision for the future. Remember, they can't interrupt Trump. Then about halfway through the debate, if it's as softball as I think it will be, remember that CNN has to ask Biden about the border. But they don't have to follow up when Biden blames Trump for all the problems, which he will do. So if I'm Trump, when they ask me a question about halfway through, I said, I'll answer that in a moment, but why don't you guys ask Joe Biden this? Boom. Trump should have 5 of those. Why don't you ask him this? I think people would like to know that. Now, that puts the moderators in a terrible position if they don't ask it. Because everybody will go, yeah, how come they're not asking that? And I mean obvious questions about the border, about inflation, about Ukraine, about Israel, whatever it may be. Okay? If Trump does that, he wins that debate because he throws CNN into confusion. Let me recap again. You got to wait to halfway through when it's apparent that Tapper and Bash are not going to try to pin Biden down. Then Trump says, whatever's asked of him, I'll answer that in a moment, but I have a suggestion. He has to do it politely. Why don't you ask President Biden about this? And then every question hence, he throws one in. Is that brilliant? Come on. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. If he does that, it's over. He wins. And that's a memo. All right. Joe Biden fundraiser controversy. Now remember, he's wobbly. And I'd be wobbly. So he goes to Europe, and then he comes back. Then he goes to Europe again. Then he goes to L.A. I mean, the guy has got to be wobbly. But he goes to raise $28 million in a celebrity fundraiser in Los Angeles. And this happens at the end of it. So roll the tape now. We'll take a look. So there is Biden and Obama, Jimmy Kimmel standing there and waving at the crowd. And then all of a sudden, President Obama takes President Biden's wrist and leads him off the stage. Okay. So immediately, the anti-Biden forces say, hey, look at that. Obama had to pull him off the stage. No, let's be fair about this. It's a wide shot. We don't know, all right, exactly how that came, but it looks like on the hand to the wrist that Obama was taking him off the stage. Now, this comes after the Italian situation where you saw the tape where Biden was wandering away, and then the New York Post and others said, oh, look, he's wandering off the group, and the Italian president had to bring him back. Well, he was wandering for a reason, and the Post didn't report that. He wanted to greet one of the flyers that did the overhead, okay? That wasn't fair. This one, if I'm betting here, I'm betting that Obama let him off the stage. But I could be wrong. Now, immediately, and I mean immediately, the anti-Biden people went into celebration. Roll the tape.
He is frozen, and Barack Obama grabs him by the arm, and then Biden snaps out of it. And then this is smart. Obama knows, sort of pats him on the back and then just sort of walks him off stage and pretends they're having a conversation, which, of course, they're not.
Well, how does he know they're not? How would he possibly know they're not having a conversation? See, that's a kind of commentary. You've got to watch that. You really have to watch it. So the White House issued this statement, quote, fresh off being fact-checked by at least 6 mainstream news organizations for lying about President Biden with cheap fakes, Rupert Murdoch's sad little super PAC, the New York Post, is back to disrespecting its readers and itself, once again by pretending the president taking in an applauding crowd for a few seconds is somehow wrong. Their ethical standards could be deal with a little unfreezing. Okay. The New York Post has been Biden's main tormentor. There's no doubt about that. All right. But, the White House has got the Democratic Party allied with NBC News, ABC, CBS, CNN, all of them. Here's what was said on MSNBC. Go.
Because they have to keep engaging in cheap fakes to try to make Joe Biden look bad. And this weekend, they've done it over the past several weeks. Mm-hmm. They've got the New York Post doing it. The RNC's doing it. All of these right-wing stooges on X are doing it.
All right. I mean, come on, White House. You got most of the media. By the way, that program there, it's watched by less than 1 million people. I mean, it gets a lot of ink because the progressive left media promotes its own. But it don't really matter. But it's an interesting conversation. My take is this. We here will only report what we know to be true. I don't know if Biden froze on that LA stage and had to be let off by Obama. It looks that way. but I don't know 100%. Are you overwhelmed with back taxes or unfiled returns? With 88,000 newly hired IRS agents, that agency has increased enforcement, issuing millions of pay-up notices this year alone. So don't face the IRS alone. Tax Network USA can help you. As the nation's premier tax relief firm, they've negotiated more than $1 billion in tax relief for their clients. Services include penalty forgiveness, hardship programs, and offer in-compromise solutions. So are you behind on taxes? Whether it's $10,000 or $10 million, they can help. Protect your financial security. Contact Tax Network USA for strategic advice on reducing or eliminating your tax debt. To schedule a complimentary consultation, please call 800-245-6000, or you can visit tnusa.com. Don't let the IRS control your life. Empower yourself with Tax Network USA support. Take charge of your financial future. Okay, so another terrible migrant story for you. Colorado, outside of Denver. A guy named Ignacio Cruz Mendoza, 47 years old. He's speeding, according to cops, driving a truck. All right, he hits 5 other vehicles. There's Mendoza. Killing one of the drivers, 64-year-old Scott Miller, seriously injuring at least one other driver. Okay, Cruz Mendoza did time for drug charges in Oregon, April 2002. Okay, still in the country. You ready? 16 times. 16. He was either booted or left the country and came back 16 times illegally. 16. Now, that's it. We don't have a border when a guy like this can come across it 16 times illegally. Not only that, initially he was charged with a felony for killing, another human being, but now it's been busted down to a misdemeanor, careless driving. This is Colorado that doesn't want to punish migrants no matter what they do. Now, that might be a bit unfair, but it's really bordering there. As you know, I worked in Denver for 2 years, totally different city back then. Now, it's a madhouse, a literal madhouse. Awful. Chicago. The head of the teachers union there is a woman named Stacey Davis. She is a radical leftist. She goes on the radio, WBBM, very good affiliate, and says this. Go.
Conservatives don't even want Black children to be able to read. Remember, these same conservatives are the conservatives who probably would have been championing Black codes, during Reconstruction or thereafter. So forgive me again if conservatives pushing back on educating immigrant children, Black children, children who live in poverty doesn't make my anxiety go up.
So conservatives don't even want Black children to be able to read, according to the president of the Chicago Teachers Union. Okay. San Francisco is the worst run city in America, according to Wallet Hub. Not a shock, right? We've been reporting on this for 2 years. Now, Wallet Hub compared 148 American cities, 6 categories: financial stability, education, health, safety, economy, and infrastructure, and pollution. San Francisco is the worst because it's out of control. Radical leftists run the city. Here are the other top 9 worst cities in the country. Oakland, right across the bay. Gulfport, Mississippi. New York City. Flint, Michigan. Cleveland. Tacoma, Washington. Denver. Hello, Denver. Detroit, Los Angeles. Boy, oh boy, that's quite the list, huh? Here are the best run cities. Nampa, Idaho, #1 best run city in the USA. Lexington, Kentucky. Boise, Idaho. 2 Idahos in the top 3. Nashua, New Hampshire. Oklahoma City. Durham, North Carolina, Provo, Utah, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Wichita, Kansas. There you go. Smart Life. Okay. I always encourage people to listen and watch the No Spin News with a pen and paper. Now, you concierge and premium members can get a transcript, so you don't have to do that. You can just ask and we'll send it to you. All right. This will save you money. Food. Through the roof, right? We all have to eat. There is an app. I don't even know what an app is, but there's one. Too Good To Go app. Too Good To Go app. You get it in your App Store or Google Play. Now, this is an outfit out of Denmark. So you put your information in, and it tells you what restaurants in your area will sell you food for a very low price. Okay? So, Too Good To Go is a place you can hunt for nearby restaurants, bakeries, or grocery stores that may have goods would otherwise end up as waste by the end of the day. Okay. Now, I didn't use end of the day as a cliche. That's what they say. So you go in there and you say, okay. The problem is that you don't know what you're getting. They give you a bag of food, but you don't know really what it is. I don't like that. However, it's only between $4 and $7. So if you get a steak or something good, it's well worth it, right? Now, I want some of you to do this, because this is a Smart Life segment, and tell me how it works. Because I'm not going to do it. I don't know an app from an asp. ASP, it's a snake. I don't know. But you tell me if it works, okay? Americans with poor diets falling. So, 1999, half of us had a bad diet. Now, 37%. What's a bad diet? Sugar, all right, processed meat, saturated fat, salt, sodium. You're eating a lot of that. Bad diet. What's a good diet? Fruits, vegetables, you know, whole grains, fish, shellfish, nuts, seeds, legumes. Legumes. I don't know what the difference between vegetable and legumes are, but I like the word legumes. All right, so the more of that you eat, the healthier you are. Now, it is the key to good health. I wish I had learned this lesson when I was younger. I'm in pretty good shape now, and I really work at it. You know that. But if I had learned this lesson maybe 20 years ago, I'd be in better shape. And I would have eliminated some of the health problems that I've had to deal with, and everybody has to deal with. Because diet is it. They say diet and exercise, okay, but it's really diet. I mean, you got to move it. You got to get out and do the power walks, but, all right. So what I do now is this. Every day in the morning, I decide what I'm going to eat that day. And I base it on what I ate the day before. So if I had a Carvel ice cream, which I did last week, and it's the best ice cream on earth, that's my first job was at Carvel, then I'm not going to have any ice cream this week. I know, but it's a lot of sugar. And I put a little hot fudge on it. It was really good, but once every 2 weeks for that. So every morning I get up and I say, okay, I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have this. And I balance it out. And if it's bad, like I'll put a burger on the grill and some hot dogs. I'm partial to Nathan's, but once a week tops on that, okay? So that's what you do. You got to plan. You can't be driving into the window and they're throwing this greasy garbage in your front seat. No, it's going to shorten your life. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Okay, as a final thought of the day, next week we're going to have some debate experts on, and we contacted a man named Thomas Holohan, Irish guy. He was a PhD, there he is, and he teaches at the University of Southern California, the Annenberg School. It's a big school, and he's been there a long time, decades. And we said, hey, professor, you want to come on and just set up the debates and tell us how you think it's going to go down, give us some historical perspective. Here's what he wrote back to my producers. Quote, sorry, I'm not interested in lending credibility to this propaganda machine. I guess that's me. So I'm telling you this because this guy, Holohan, talking about propaganda, all we wanted him to do is go over the history of the debates and how they've changed and all of that. No ideology involved with this. Okay? Now, this is what you have in almost every major college in the country. These far-left cranks. So you pay an enormous amount of money, the kids are, or you are, if you're paying for your children's education. And you walk in a classroom and here's this guy. And we ran him down, and he's a Trump hater, you know, we know who he is. But I wanted to tell you that because this is what, you know, there are ways, look, you don't want to come on the No Spin News, fine. I don't care whether you come on or not. We got a better guest. But be respectful, all right? No, that's just ridiculous. So this guy is a pinhead. I might send him, we have a Don't Be a Pinhead bumper sticker, right? I think I'm going to send him a Don't Be a Pin. It's too late. He is a pinhead. All right, I want you guys to have a nice weekend. It's hot, so cool off and have fun. I don't know what I'm going to write about Sunday yet in my column. I got a lot of things kind of ruminating around, but I'll have a good one for you because it's, you know, debate week and we'll launch it well. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.